Jesus explains the winged lion of Daniel 7:4, narrated by Daniel. The first was like a lion, and had eagle's wings. I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth, and made to stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it. Does the winged lion represent England or Babylon? Can the winged lion be England? Do other features of the passage represent America gaining independence from England? While some today offer one interpretation of my word, others hold to the more traditional viewpoint. My word instructs to hear the whole matter, to consider both sides. A wise man will hear and will increase learning. What does my word say? In Daniel 2, I use precious metals to represent certain kingdoms of man, beginning with the head of gold to represent King Nebuchadnezzar and his Babylonian kingdom. After, when I wanted to represent these same kingdoms to my servants the prophets, to Daniel in the book of Daniel, and to John in the book of Revelation, I did not use precious metals to symbolize earthly kingdoms. Rather, I portrayed these same kingdoms according to their true nature, as ravenous beasts, but also as mountains. In Daniel 7, I revealed to my prophet Daniel 4 very unusual beasts. The correct interpretation of these 4 beasts and their unusual features will enrich your understanding concerning end-time prophecy, especially when determining the location from where the 10 kings shall arise to govern the new world order. Allow me to explain the meaning of each of these 4 beasts individually. I shall help you to search the scriptures and rightly divide the word of truth, comparing scripture with scripture to prove, without a doubt, the correct and only interpretation of each of the 4 beasts of Daniel 7. And 4 great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another, 4 kings representing 4 kingdoms. The first was like a lion, and had eagle's wings. I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth, and made to stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it, referring to King Nebuchadnezzar's Babylon. And behold, another beast, a second, like to a bear, and it raised up itself on one side, and it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it, and they said thus unto it, Arise, devour much flesh. Medo-Persia devouring the 3 regions of Egypt, Assyria, and Babylon. After this I beheld, and lo, another, like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. Greece of Alexander the Great. After this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns, from Rome through to the New World Order. Now allow me to explain the vision and the interpretation of the winged lion, as it is recorded in the book of my prophet Daniel, chapter 7. The first was like a lion, and had eagle's wings, the emblem of Babylon and symbolic of Nebuchadnezzar's power and authority. I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, when Nebuchadnezzar lost his power and authority for for 7 years, as it is recorded in Daniel chapter 4. And it was lifted up from the earth after the 7 years, and made to stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it, when Nebuchadnezzar's human reasoning was restored to him. Let his heart be changed from a man's, and let a beast's heart be given unto him, and let 7 times pass over him, when Nebuchadnezzar lost his kingly power and authority, and lived as a beast for 7 years. The same hour was the thing fulfilled upon Nebuchadnezzar, and he was driven from men, and did eat grass as oxen, and his body was wet with the dew of heaven, till his hairs were grown like eagle's feathers, symbolizing that although his kingly power and authority had been plucked from him, it remained dormant, and his nails like birds' claws. After Nebuchadnezzar's power was plucked from him, his hair grew like eagle's feathers, a symbolism showing that while his kingly power had been plucked from him, it remained dormant. This symbolism of the king's power remaining dormant is further illustrated by the tree that was hewn down, but the stump remained in the earth, and it was nourished by the dew of heaven, so that it was kept alive, to later grow again, symbolic of Nebuchadnezzar's kingdom being restored to him. Then, after 7 years, King Nebuchadnezzar's power and his kingdom were restored to him. Now, let's consider the other side of interpretation. While it is true that England adopted the image of a winged lion, and while some Bible scholars interpret the wings being plucked from the lion in Daniel 7:4 as symbolic of America gaining independence from England, and that somehow the man's heart refers to Uncle Sam, my word offers its own interpretation on the passage that better fits with overall end-time prophecy. Much earlier in history, King Nebuchadnezzar's Babylonian kingdom established the winged lion as its emblem. Daniel chapter 4 reveals that it was during the 7 years of King Nebuchadnezzar's abasement, his power, symbolized by the eagle's feathers, was plucked from him, and he was given a beast's heart to live as an animal. During those 7 years, his hair grew like eagle's feathers, which symbolized that his ruling power as Babylon's king lay dormant. Then, after the 7 years had passed, the king's human understanding was restored to Nebuchadnezzar, and he was no longer living as an animal, but was thinking and acting as a man again, and as a believer in the Lord. This is reflected in Daniel 7:4, and it was lifted up from the earth, and made to stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it. Therefore, the correct and fulfilled interpretation of Daniel 7:4 is that the winged lion represents Babylon and nothing else. The conclusion of the matter is that the winged lion parallels the head of gold to represent Babylon. This is the vision, and the interpretation thereof is sure. Coming next, the lopsided devouring bear of Daniel 7:5.